will be able to pivot towards other cards. And that's the advantage of having multiple cards because, of course, the answer to everything is more credit cards.
Absolutely, Justin.
And that's an advantage of a de-risking. Some people might only have one or two credit cards. And what if something happens with those one or two cards? Maybe they won't be shut down, but what if there was fraud on the card and the card was locked and had to be resolved? And then what are they going to do, especially when traveling? So very good to have lots of credit cards for the welcome bonuses, the bonus categories, the benefits, and then for considerations like that in case there happens to be issues with a certain card issuer. And even earlier this year, I had some credit cards that were moved to other banks or cards that were just discontinued. So having backup plans is really good.
I've never heard anyone talk about portfolio theory when it comes to credit card fraud alerts, Justin. That's the first for me.
Right.
Very interesting approach here. But yeah, no, you make a good point. I was listening to another podcast recently. The host was having some problems with their Capital One card and it taking weeks for those issues to be resolved. Imagine that's your only card, either personal or business, or worse, both. And you're trying to pay for groceries or pay for business expenses, buy inventory or services, and you can't do anything. That would be brutal. So yeah, I think it's a great point there. Having cards with different banks helps de-risk. And even when you're doing uncreative spending, sometimes the banks don't like it for whatever reason, and you can end up with locked cards that make it challenging. As an aside, Justin, as we talk about that, I know one tip that folks have talked about is when you travel, making sure that you're bringing cards from more than one bank, just in case the card gets locked or shut down while you're traveling. And then you would be, like you say,
A pickle.
in a speed, you'd be, I was going to say in a Speedway hut, but yeah, pickle's good too.
Yes. So you never know what can happen. Or, yeah, you're overseas and then the bank views it as a suspicious transaction and locks the card and you can't contact them or it takes time to resolve. Having the war chest with you, multiple credit cards, of course.
That being said, Justin, what things are you considering now after this shutdown that you are implementing yourself or would recommend other people think about as a way to de-risk at the bank level or at the credit card level?
Yes, I think varying payment and amount timing. So instead of just running up to the balance and making the payment in full, maybe you want to make a payment every week, every 2 weeks, not let it get so high, not let it have the same amount every time that we're not paying back 18,000 every time. And I think this happened in the past, especially with Citi, where people were able to use certain prepaid cards or prepaid-ish cards where they were making all these $200 payments, these $500 payments, whatever it was years ago. But if you're make the payments again and again, this could be a risk factor. So you don't want to look robotic